What's up, guys? It's Justin here with the first ever fantasy and cooking show. This is unusual. I think this is mostly because Sean decided he was going to bet me and said that I wouldn't do it. So here I am. We're going to make dinner tonight and talk about fantasy football. So what I need from you is to just ask me a bunch of questions, and it looks like I'm gonna keep trying to check in the chat. Yeah, I'm in my outfit. Of course, I'm in my outfit. I had to be. This is what I cook in every single day, especially when I make dinner. So yeah, Sean, thanks for watching. If you guys have questions, whether it's food related, fantasy related especially, be sure to throw it in the chat so I'm not just sitting here talking to myself and making noises and just cooking dinner, but otherwise I'm just here cooking dinner. So tonight I have a ribeye. That's bacon on there too, but I got a ribeye. I have a baked potato. That's it, because that's all you need. I might make an old fashioned. We'll see, depending on if people want to watch that part, but getting into bourbon. So I'm gonna start by washing this potato. This is my kitchen, by the way. You guys never get to see this part. Hopefully there's nothing super embarrassing on the refrigerator, but welcome to my kitchen. Yeah, I wouldn't show you the rest of the house. That's weird. I feel like I said, welcome to FantasyNow Plus. We talk about fantasy football every week. Every Friday at noon, we go live during the off season. And then during the season, we're going to have so many different shows. A ton of shows, ton of content. So we will have those live almost every day of the week, probably, for your fantasy enjoyment. And we'll talk about starts, sits. We'll talk about waivers, trades, how to be a commissioner, rankings. We'll talk about a lot of different stuff throughout the season. So be sure to follow us at FantasyNowPlus.com. That's all spelled out. You can go to our website. You can get all of our information there too. You can join the Super League, which is a charity league that we are putting on this year in support of Extra Life, which all that money goes to the Children's Miracle Network. Sean, help me out. If you're still listening, how's the audio? Hopefully it sounds good. Hopefully. Banking on that. So, all right. I need to get this potato in. I should have already got this potato in, but I'm just sitting here chatting around. I'm going to make this camera go down here so you can see everything. That's great. Shout out to my parents who let me borrow this fancy Rode wireless mic that's here on my chest. I don't usually have the microphone, but connected right to my board. That is awesome. So, Sean, can you hear the air fryer going? Because that's what we're going to do. So I got a little oil in there. I'm going to throw generous amounts of salt there. I like a salted one. I got some garlic salt here too. Some cracked black pepper. Now, this is just going in the air fryer. I'm literally just going to ball it up like that. This is just going to collect that heat. Also, if you didn't know, there are two different sides to aluminum foil. That just went into, I hit pause. Oh no. That went into the air fryer over there, right there. That's currently sitting at 400 degrees for about 45 minutes. So that'll hopefully be done when we are done. So back to aluminum foil, because this is the riveting stuff. I don't hear the air fryer. That's perfect. There's two sides to it. There's a not shiny side and a shiny side. Shiny side reflects heat. If you put that in there, it's just going to ball up and it's going to bounce off of each other. Whereas if this is the outside, when I put the potato on the not shiny side, it would reflect the heat. So it's not going to get as hot. So I put it on the shiny side, wrapped it up. That way the heat gets in there and it's just going to stay in there and steam it really nicely. So pro tip on the aluminum foil if you didn't know that. There's a question. Who would you trade up foreign dynasty rookie drafts, but you can't say Genty. Okay, so I have the 102 and 104 in a draft. I also don't have a first-round pick in another draft. If there's one player that I'm going to trade up for in a dynasty rookie draft, probably Tet McMillan if I need a wide receiver. I was kind of hit or miss on Ashton Genty. No, I'm sorry, not hit. Travis Hunter. I don't know, though. He's going to the Browns most likely. Ted McMillan. If I need a quarterback, I'm getting probably Cam Ward. I'm not sold on Shador Sanders still. Amari Hampton. Some of the running backs. Tyler Warren, I would trade up, but not like super far into it. Hopefully that answers your question. Okay, so next up, we got that potato in. Now we're really going to wait a lot. So let's talk about fantasy football. I'm just going to be doing some stuff here and moving around. So this next thing I'm going to do is make the mixing for the potato. So I'm going to add some butter. We're going to add some sour cream to it. We're going to soften this butter, though. So this is going to go in the microwave for like 30 seconds, just about 5 tablespoons of butter. You can obviously do way less if you want it to be healthy. Healthy is a thing. Don't hate you for that, but the wife's away, so I'm going to make it unhealthy. So we melt some butter. We are going to use sour cream, which you can't see because this is facing up. So I got sour cream here. We are actually going to fry some bacon. Pan fry it. So we're going to pan fry that bacon in there. I got some green onions. Got to get in the... Thought I had everything. Onion. Okay, so this is like half melted, which is fine because that's going to get mixed up, and we're going to probably throw that back in the fridge, to be honest with you. So that's going to get nice and mixed up here. Yeah, I'm going to throw this back in the fridge just to kind of get it to be a little bit more solid. Okay, let's prep some more stuff here. So I always cut off the ends of these green onions that don't look so great. And then I really only want this green part. I usually cook with this white part, but I'm not going to do that today. So I'm going to just get rid of that. And then I'm going to dice this up really, really fine. This is interesting watching myself cut on a camera. Little known fact about me, I used to be in the restaurant industry. I went to culinary school, became a chef, worked all over the city of Indianapolis, worked in some fine dining restaurants, some not fine dining restaurants, some families, some bars. Did a bunch of stuff and then got tired of it, working way too much time, and decided I was going to work in IT and went and did that. So this is Applewood smoked cheddar cheese, which you can get from Aldi. I love Aldi. I'm going to cut a good chunk of that if you want to know how many ounces that is. It's like 3 ounces. So immediately just took off my thumb. No, just kidding. Please be safe. What am I not being safe about? Sean, what did I do? What am I not safe about? I did just almost take off my thumb, though. These things are sharp if you don't have them. This has got to be like exhilarating. You just come up on here. I think I'm going to talk about fantasy football, which I will. Please ask questions. I would love to talk about fantasy football, but we're almost in the NFL draft, which is fun. Talking and cutting, just saying. What do you think we do in restaurants? Just nothing? So here's what the other 2 ounces of cheese is going to be. My snack. So we're going to go on a field trip. Oh. Let's see. Oh, yeah. You can see that. Just throw that in the cast iron. We're going to let that cook. Hey, you guys watch that for me. Hey, Rocket. What's up? This is sous chef Rocket. He likes to watch me cook. Can you guys just watch him for me? All right. Sean, who is your favorite underrated player in the draft to draft in Dynasty Rookie Drafts? Underrated player to draft in Dynasty Rookie Drafts. So I'm assuming you're talking this year, obviously. Here's the embarrassing thing. I haven't looked too much because I don't have a lot of picks in rookie drafts, which is probably problematic. I think Ollie Gordon? Yeah, Ollie Gordon, he's going late. I think he could potentially do well in the draft this year or in football in general. So I kind of like him. Really, I think this is the year to get a running back. Usually it's go wide receiver, go quarterback. There's 2 pretty good tight ends, Loveland and Warren, obviously, but I think this is definitely a good year to get a running back. So we're not going to keep watching the bacon, but so let's see. You can't see my head, which is fine, honestly. You really want to see my head? I need to get different angles and stuff. That'd be really cool. Okay, let's see how this butter's doing. It's better. Okay. Sean not trusting me with a knife and cutting food and talking at the same time. Okay, so what we are going to do here is, in fact, I'm going to get a bigger bowl, actually. I did this last night, and it was okay. In a small bowl. What we are going to do is pour this melted-ish butter into a bowl. So that's empty. We are going to take some sour cream. And very liberally, we're going to put that sour cream in there. Get that a little mixy. Now, a lot of people will just do this all together. They'll just put all this on top of the potato. It'll be whatever. Which is fine. You can do that. That's fine. You can put the butter in there. You can mix the butter up. You can put the cheese on top. You can put the sour cream, the bacon all on top. I'm doing this all mixed up because what I'm going to do is take all the mixing or the cooked part of the potato, pull that out, and then I'm going to mix it into this mixture and then throw it back in the potato. So it'll all be evenly covered, which is delicious. So I just added that smoked cheddar. We're just going to give that a little good mix. We're going to add these green onions. Give that a good mix. What are you prepping? B. McD. So Make sure to drop it off if you're done. Yeah, you live in California, Sean. So I am making a ribeye, cooked in a cast iron, and I'm making a loaded baked potato. And we're talking about fantasy football. So if you have any fantasy football questions, feel free to drop them. Occasionally, you might see some dogs in the background. If you like dogs, great. If you don't, okay. So that mixture is done. We got that all nice and mixed up. That's a lot. That's fine. That's all going in the potato. I might eat some of it. I don't know. So next thing, I'm going to throw some salt and pepper in there. So B McD, you got any fantasy questions? Any burning questions? I hope you guys can hear this bacon going because also smells really good over here. Okay, so do you think Shedeur Sanders will do well in fantasy? So I kind of just talked about this, but it's fine. It's fine. No. Well, that's subjective. I think it's really going to depend on where he goes. Because if he ends up on somewhere like the Browns, that's bad news. But I think he's going to go later in the draft than people think. I think he's going to go in the teens, which means he's going to go to a slightly better team in a better situation that could probably maybe wait, which will be fine because it'll give him a chance to actually see the NFL. I think his development's going to be important. I don't think he's going to be immediately going to just jump in there and be a day one all-pro like Jaden Daniels. He's not going to be this year's Jaden Daniels. I will tell you that. Coming from the guy who called last year's Jaden Daniels. Will he be fine? Probably. Am I going to go out of my way to trade up for him and get a top 12 pick? No. So hopefully that answers your question, but I'm not going to spend a first round pick on him unless I'm sitting at QB, or I'm sitting at the 103, 104, and I need a QB and I have nothing. It's the only reason why I would spend a first round pick on him. Otherwise, I'm waiting. I've been known to say that Jalen Milroe is going to be this year's Jalen Hurts, which means you'll have to wait a couple years for him. So if you are just now joining, be sure to follow FantasyNowPlus.com. That's our website. You can follow us on social media, Blue Sky, Facebook, and Instagram at FantasyNowPlus. And if you are new to us on YouTube, be sure to subscribe, Fantasy Now Plus 1. And be sure to follow FinTalk Sports Network, who is kind of our host. We're presented by the FinTalk Sports Network, so it's very thankful to have them on here. So, can you elaborate on why you don't think he can be a Jaden Daniels? Conference play, who did they play? So if you compare numbers, for instance, Shedeur Sanders took a lot of sacks. I mean, like Caleb Williams level sacks in college, which was not great for him. It hurt his rushing yards. He was pretty accurate, which was pretty good, but he was also playing very poor defenses. The Big 12 is not the SEC. I said that Jaden Daniels is going to be elite from the get-go because he was doing very, very well against the SEC school defenses, which is honestly I mean, they're basically NFL defenses. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles. They just went and drafted the entire Georgia defense. I wouldn't even compare Shedeur Sanders to Caleb Williams because I don't think that's also fair. I don't think he'll be as good as Caleb Williams, even though Caleb Williams did not have a good year. That's all based on the team, and I think that's similar to what Shedeur is going to go through. Is he's going to get put onto a not great team. Now, don't discount this for me saying Shedeur Sanders will never be good. I think he can be really good. He comes from the genes of Shedeur Sanders, so that should tell you something. He's worked out with players like Peyton Manning and some of the big names out there. A lot of them do think he will do very well. So that's just my opinion. So that's something. Okay, not a fantasy question. What is the largest meal you have ever had to prepare and how many people? Personally or professionally? Personally, I have cooked for about 60 people. I made a 3-course meal for a church group. That was also all by myself. Which was tough. Okay, professionally, there's this event called Rev, which is in Indianapolis. They really kick off the month of May in Indy, which is the Indy 500. And that event puts on for about 2,000 people. And all these different restaurants come around and put together different dishes and stuff. So 2,000 people, we made fried prime rib egg rolls at the place that I'm wearing right now. I've also done some cooking competitions where I had to prepare for about 1,000 people, and I had to make my own course by myself for 1,000 people. Other than that, the restaurants. So back to questions. We might need to discuss a fantasy football cooking collaboration with our resident chef, Nate. Nate, you're a chef also. This will be interesting because so we are doing a 24-hour live stream starting on May 23rd at 8 p.m., going until 8 p.m. on Saturday, May 24th. Nate and some of the Optimist guys will be on our show at noon on Saturday. So Nate, we're gonna have to have a little cooking collaboration show, I think, because this could be interesting. Yeah, so any other questions? Cooking, fantasy, whatever. We still have probably at least 20, 25 minutes before this potato's even done, so we got some time still. Hop and remind him not to burn anything. Okay, so I'm going through Blue Sky. Will, thank you for reminding me not to burn anything. The bacon's a little crispy because I was paying attention to you guys. It's fine. It's fine. And the rest. Okay, let's see. So can't wait for the bacon to get burned because we're distracting you. Did you really just repeat exactly what I said? Sean, come on, man. It's okay. This actually is pretty good. So I like, for things like this, I like a little bit of a crisp on my bacon. So this is fine. So I'm gonna actually take this. We are going to do a rough chop, which is not fine. I don't want it to be fine. I want it to have a little bit of size and texture to it. We're going to add that to the butter mixture. That's fair. That's fair. It's probably like 15 seconds. It's fine. So we're going to mix this up. And just in case you weren't here earlier, this is a mixture that's butter, sour cream, smoked white cheddar, Applewood smoked white cheddar, a little bit of green onions, and let's see, I said butter and sour cream, salt, pepper, and now bacon. So this mixture is actually going to get used for the baked potato. So I'm going to take all the contents out of the baked potato and put this into it, mix it all up, put it back into the baked potato, and cook it for just a little bit longer. So there's that. I'm actually going to save this bowl to mix the potato into. And the beautiful thing about cooking for yourself is you can lick all the utensils you use. So let's clean up a little bit. Okay, I have to start driving home soon from the office, but I'll keep on the stream. Yeah, you better, Sean. Producer Sean, social media guy Sean, guy who bullied me into doing this tonight. LOL. If you're just now joining us, be sure to follow us at FantasyNow Plus. Tonight I am cooking dinner and answering fantasy questions. So ask away. I will answer anything, literally anything, cooking, professional, fantasy, IT questions. Yeah, do you need to reset your password? Probably can't help you, but I can try. So what I'm going to do here, about 5 minutes ago, this said to flip your food in the air fryer. All I'm going to do is actually just check the temperature of this. So I'm going to go and switch this back. We're going to open this just a little bit, stick a thermometer. Oh yeah, that's really hard. We're about 150. We need to get it to about 200 degrees. So we're getting there. Okay, so next up here, we're going to prep the steak a little bit. Or should I prep the steak, or should I make me an old-fashioned? Or should I do both? Prep the steak and make an old-fashioned. Yeah, so let's move the steak on here. Back down. Okay, so I'm going to use this seasoning. Usually I use salt and pepper, but today I'm going to use this red jalapeno garlic kinders. I actually had this last night. This was pretty good. Like I said, I usually just do salt and pepper, but I'm going to do a little bit of flavoring here. That. Do a little pepper. I always do a little bit off to the side of the pan so you can rub the sides of it with it. Flip that over. Pepper. I usually don't use like seasoning blends, and I'll show you why. If you look at that, where's that? You can get all the ingredients down there. So this one specifically has sea salt, chili pepper, dehydrated garlic, spices, orange peel, dehydrated onion, rice concentrate, paprika, salt, vegetable oil, red jalapeno pepper, sunflower oil, and natural flavor. So usually what I will do is I will take all of those ingredients that actually make sense and not like the rice concentrate, the stuff that sounds what is that? I won't take that and put it in there, and that way it makes it a little bit more fresh and a little better. So what I'm doing here is rubbing these sides with all the seasoning in this pan. The greatest thing about making food at home and not go into a restaurant and paying the same amount is usually a lot of the restaurants will buy shitty steaks from like a local, like GFS, US Food, stuff like that, and charge about 4 times the amount for it. I got this steak for $11, the potato for 50 cents. So for $11.50, I'm gonna have a $60 dinner. beautiful. Well, plus the butter and sour cream and all the other stuff. So, questions, fantasy questions. Let's talk fantasy football, guys. Who's got a fantasy question? Somebody asked. Throw it in the chat. First time people, throw something in the chat. Okay. Well, while you guys are thinking of questions, I'm gonna make a cocktail. I'm sure you guys want. Oh, here we go. Are you avoiding Jones now that KOC says Mason will split the carries? To be honest, unless I already had Aaron Jones, I wasn't going to get Aaron Jones. Yeah, I think they're going to transition to Jordan Mason. However, Jordan Mason's not a receiving back. Aaron Jones receives the ball a lot and does get quite a bit of fantasy points that way. So I'm not hating on him. I'd want both, kind of like CMC and Jordan Mason last year. But I think the Vikings are definitely transitioning away from Aaron Jones. And I'd be curious what they do in the draft. There are a ton of running backs in this draft. They could go get a running back to pair up with Jordan Mason. Blind question. Or split to some extent. Yeah, I would split them. Okay. Cocktail hour. Okay, let's move some of this crap out of the way. Yep, got garlic over here. That's for the steak later. Got some thyme for the steak later. Okay, so I learned how to make an old fashioned like from bourbon, the Bourbon Trail this weekend. So that's fun stuff there. So what we're gonna do, and if you make it differently, that's fine. There's no wrong way to doing stuff. So the important thing for an old fashioned is actually getting the water mixed into it, because it's not just bourbon. There's bourbon and water. So I've got some ice down here. All I'm gonna do is just kind of, you want to get that friction going. So ice is broken up there. I'm going to use Bullet bourbon. This is the first bourbon I really got into about a month ago. And now it's all I'm gonna drink. Not really, but we got some orange bitters. Got some simple syrup that's made. This is from Sugar in the Raw, not just regular sugar. So what we're gonna do here, we're going to put everything in. I'm gonna take 2 ounces of bourbon. So this is 1.5 ounces right here. You know what? We're gonna do 2.5 ounces because why not? I'm gonna take a nice little ice block here. Put that in there. The Optimus guy's on here still? You still on here? I want to talk cooking with you guys. Where's Nate? Somebody get Nate. Tell him to go on here. Okay, so now we're gonna do 3 shakes of bitters. 1, 2, 3. Actually, I'm going to do 4 because I did an extra 1/2 ounce of bourbon. 4. Okay, this is a simple syrup. We're going to take about a 1/2 ounce of this. Really, it's about a 1/4 ounce, but again, I did a little bit extra of bourbon, so I'm just going to make a little bit extra. So that's sitting in there. Rinse out some dishes. Key to cooking: clean as you go. Always clean as you go. Makes cleaning up later way easier, especially if you're really full. Okay, so take my spoon, just get that nice and mixed up. I would prefer to have like a thicker glass or a rigid glass so you get more friction on this ice. That sounds about right. Pour that over the ice. Now I was making old fashions without doing all that, without the stirring of the ice, and I was getting straight bourbon pretty much. Like I was getting about half that amount. I was always like, well, maybe this is what you do. But that's a neat bourbon. So that's part of the Manhattan. Just wipe that up. Okay, some fancy cocktail cherries. I don't want all this juice, so I'm just gonna. These cherries are good. And last but not least, orange. So I'm just going to take a good part of that. We're just going to little spritz that over, get a little perfumey on there, twist that up, throw that on the side. And now, we got a nice little old fashioned. Okay. Okay, well. Fantasy football again. Any questions? Be sure to ask. You can follow us on social media at FantasyNow Plus. We are going to be bringing fantasy content throughout the week, the fantasy week, all week. Right now, we are doing shows every Friday at noon Eastern. Also, we are doing a 24-hour live stream coming up starting on Friday, May 23rd, starting at 8 p.m. You can join us for the 24 hours, an hour, some hours, whenever. We'll be doing a lot of different things, talking about fantasy football, talking about life, cooking maybe, doing some live drafts, some mock drafts. We're going to play video games, do a lot of different things. So be sure to join us. And you can get that information on our social media. So let's check this potato. It says 6 minutes. Let's just see what temperature we're at. So I just stab my thermometer in there. Okay, that was a lot easier to get in there. We are sitting at about 190. So we're getting very, very close. So I'm going to actually up this to about 10-ish minutes on the on there. And then we're actually going to come over here and probably start cooking off our steak. But before we get there, I want to make sure everything is ready to go. That includes butter, garlic, thyme, all the things. So what I'm going to do here is I need to get like a 2-camera setup. That would be great. So we're going to take about, I'm going to take about 2 tablespoons-ish. Put that on the plate. That's done. It'll take some time. I'm getting all this prepped onto a plate because it's a lot easier to just grab and throw it than go, oh God, I got to do all these things. There's that and garlic. I'm going to crush this garlic. Yes, I know. I have a bag of garlic. It's not coming right out of everything. It's fine. It's fine. This is just a lot easier to use. Sadly, I don't use it all quick enough, and it goes bad. But if I really wanted to, I could just buy heads of garlic, and that's fine. But so just knife, crush it. And that's all I'm going to do it to it. It's just literally that, and that's going to go on the side. Okay. Okay. So who's got some burning questions right now? Anybody? Oh my God. Come on, camera. Just gonna make everybody sick here. What's going on? There we go, I think. Somewhat. I'm tall, so I have to bend over. Fantasy football. So I'm in a situation where I have the 102 and I have no quarterback. So I'm hoping I can get Cam Ward. Don't love it, but I can get Cam Ward. We're in the waiting game right now. We can drink a cocktail and just wait for you guys to ask questions. Now, if your question is, Justin, what do you do while you cook? It is watch TV. Or listen to music, but it's usually watch TV. So as you notice, there's a little bit of the bacon still in there. That's fine. It's perfectly fine. It doesn't have to be completely clean. I just cooked that bacon. So if you really wanted to clean this out, throw some salt in there, wipe it down with a towel. So I've got that pan on medium-high heat, about medium actually. I don't want to just like completely burn it, smoke up the house, be a mess. Yeah, so we are going to take a little bit of grapeseed oil, which is a much higher smoke point than like vegetable oil and stuff. And just pour that in there just a little bit. You can see that kind of going all around the pan there very easily. The easier it is to move around the pan, I mean, the hotter it is and the more ready it is. So you can kind of hear that sizzle. Should have got a microphone like right next to the pan so you could just hear it going the entire time. And we're going to just turn that up just a little bit. It wasn't as hot as I wanted it to be, so it's fine. Well, you can start to see that sizzle. And remember, I mean, we still got a baked potato cooking, so we don't need this to cook right away. We don't need this 30 seconds on both sides, but I'm going to make this a good medium rare. While you're doing all this, you could be putting away your stuff. Extra time, extra butter. You put away seasonings. If you guys could watch that steak for me, that'd be great. What's the quality of the ribeye? Josh, it's not, unfortunately, it's not like butcher grade. I did not get it from a butcher. I was going to, I really was, and I didn't. But it is from Meyer. I like Meyer steaks. I don't know if you do. They at least pretty much cut everything in-house. It's burning. Shut up, Sean. What's your name again? Josh, to answer your question, this is certified Angus beef ribeye. That's that question. So, last night I made a New York strip. Literally did this exact same meal. Had a cocktail, made a baked potato, made a steak. Josh, where are you at? What are you doing? Get in the stream. Let's talk. You know how to get into StreamYard. Get into StreamYard. It's fine. It's what it is for $11. Family time. Okay, Josh. That's why you're commenting on my video. Let's see. What's your price tag for Justin Fields? What would you need to move? Sean, you know I like Justin Fields. I had an offer. I had an offer for the 108. I turned it down because I do value him as the starter. I do think he'll be a starting quarterback this year. And I think he'll do well when he does play. A lot of people are out on him, and that's fine. That's fine, but he's got Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. And I'm okay with that. I did have an offer for a 2026 first-round pick, and he currently has the 101. So, and I turned that down too. So, honestly, I could have probably taken both. I should have probably taken one of those. Probably the 26th first round. But I didn't. And it's fine. I can live with that. I can make that trade later too. So, honestly, if you can get a first rounder out of him, that's great. But I would try to get something else as well. I don't like moving the meat around too much, for what that's worth. Okay, flip that over. Got a nice little charness on that. Camera doesn't look too charred, but it does look pretty good. Could have probably gotten better right here. That's fine. This is what I like to see right here. But we'll make this all that color here in a little bit. All right. Since you guys are watching the steak, I'm gonna check the potato. Just gonna look at this. Hey Sean, what's your price tag on Jacob Cowing? Oh, that's funny. We're sitting at about 195 on the potato, so I'll throw it back in for a little bit longer. Now, what you could do here, that fat cap, to really get it cooked, go on its side. really get that cooked. So you don't have that uncooked fat cap. Nobody likes that. Nobody just likes to chew on gristle and grossness. So we're just going to cook that fat cap up a little bit. It's always important to know exactly where that fat cap was. All right, so now we got that. Before somebody comments about me throwing the cooked steak on a pan that had the raw meat on it, it's being washed. All right, so now I'm just take some of this butter. Honestly, once I get done with this part, I'm gonna probably take this off the heat and dump everything on top. And let this bad boy rest. I usually like to let it rest for about 5 minutes. A lot of worry is, oh, it's gonna get cold. It won't. It'll be fine. Take some of this goodness here. And then what we're gonna do, I don't know if you can see this. Actually, I'm gonna just dump that right on top. And we're gonna let this rest. And we're gonna come back over here. Okay, so like I said, clean as you go. And let's check on this potato, because this potato should be getting close. Serious cooking question. Why do you put the garlic and butter on the side? I'm assuming you mean like while I'm cooking it. So the butter is going to help caramelize the steak and give it that nice like char color to it. So all that's going to do is between the butter and the milk solids, it's going to really just make it more caramelized. Garlic just brings in more flavor. Same thing with the thyme and everything. That's just giving it more and more flavor into the cooking process. So let's look at this potato. It's going to go back in the air fryer for a couple minutes just to meld everything together. But we do hope to have this at about 200 degrees. Which it is at 201. So I'm actually going to... I have a YouTube question for anybody watching. What does the little gear icon mean on people's names? That's a real question. So like I said, the shiny side was on the inside. And all I'm going to do, now you can make a twice baked potato. I'm just doing a loaded potato. Twice baked potato, you take off the top, you scoop everything out, put everything into it. I'm basically doing that, but instead I'm just going to cut over the top, just like you would with a baked potato. carefully with hands. You're just gonna squeeze that open like I said, a baked potato. I'm gonna score this a little bit. Get that open. Oh, that makes sense. Thanks, Sean. I never understood that. Because you're a moderator. That makes sense. Okay. My dogs are so jealous right now. Remember that bowl that we mixed everything up into earlier? It's going right into that. So I'm going to scoop probably about 95% of this out. We're going to go right in there. Now I can already tell this potato is not exactly where I wanted it to be. I probably wanted another 5 to 10 degrees on it. Should have been about 5 to 10 more minutes. It's not as light and fluffy, but it's fine. It'll still be a very good potato. It's breaking up just a little bit. Not everything has to be perfect. It was perfect. There'd be nothing to strive towards. That's what you should remember about fantasy football. If your fantasy football team is perfect, then why are you playing? What's fun in that? All right, we're gonna dump all that butter and sour cream in there. So our mixture, which was butter, sour cream, chives, smoked applewood cheddar, and bacon. I'm gonna start with a good chunk of that. Honestly, no, that'd be stupid. I'll move on. We're gonna mix that up. Groot, don't eat that. Don't eat that. That's hot. Groot. Fight your dogs from eating a hot potato. Justin, could you make this in a bigger bowl? Yes. The answer is yes. I think it's almost another old-fashioned time. Okay. So we are going to scoop that right back into the potato. Yeah, I wish this was cooked just a little bit more. It's fine. Oh yeah, that looks great. All right, so this is gonna go right back into the air fryer. We're gonna cook that off a little bit. Just to make it all nice and melted together. Anybody listening, can you hear me washing dishes? I'm really curious at how much that picks up. Okay, that is steak and potato. So we got all the good stuff there. I'm gonna just do a little bit of dishes here. Any fantasy football questions out there? Is this something that I should do more often? That's the real question. Should I make dinner once a week? That could be fun. Fantasy and cook. Cooking up fantasy. And throw everything in the dishwasher because I'm lazy. Just literally throw it. Hopefully, if you did watch, you enjoyed this. If you did enjoy this, subscribe to our channel. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Do all the things. this is cooking in real time. There was no cuts like, okay, well now we're gonna pull out this fully prepared potato. Could have did that. Should have done that probably, but you get live, real time updates while I cook. What's more fun than that? Okay, so, oh yeah, that potato looks great. I think you should. Audio, video are good, and I like the setup. Thanks, Sean. If you can get me a weekly guest to be on this show, I will do it weekly. I will figure out what night, and I will do it weekly. Just for you, bud. So remember the old-fashioned? We're just going to, on the fly, make a little bit more. So I'm just going to pour a little bit more in there. Probably need to stir that up. They say not to do this with the big ice cube, but bartenders shoot me. That's fine. I should have done all the rest of this first. 1, 2. We're just gonna pour a little bit more simple syrup in there. Stir that back in there. Oh yeah, that tastes good. Okay. Okay, who's ready to see a final product? Where's my fish batch? Oh, damn. Big spatula. Got baked potato. Big ass baked potato. Good ass baked potato, okay. And the steak that was rested, I'm gonna pull off all this crap. Looks pretty decent. So I always go fat cap in on the inside, because when you cut, you don't want to cut against that fat cap. That's a steakhouse tip. And I'm just gonna pour some of this juices here. It's free. And just because I'm feeling a little crazy, just a little crazy, I'm going to take some of this butter, sour cream, bacon, cheddar cheese mix. I'm going to quenelle it. If you don't know what quenelle is, it's just this. You're going to right on top. Oh, I'm saving that. Okay, well, that was Cooking Up Fantasy with Justin on FantasyNow Plus. Laptop. Hope you enjoyed. This was fun, and I hope to do this again. Hope you guys got something out of this. You know what? I'll cut this just open for you. Taste it. It's a good medium rare. Hope everybody else enjoyed. I think I will make this a weekly thing. We'll work out the logistics. But be sure to follow us. You can follow me on Blue Sky, Justin Bowerly justinbowerly.fantasynowplus.com. For all the fun details, we'll be here. Hopefully everybody enjoyed it. But I'll look forward to seeing what we cook next week. But until then, be sure to follow us on social media at FantasyNow Plus. You can follow us on our website, FantasyNowPlus.com, where we will have news, articles, rankings, start sits, mock drafts, everything there. Be sure to go to our website and sign up for Super League, which is a charity best ball league supporting Extra Life in the Children's Miracle Network Foundation. But yeah, we hope you come back and are just here. I don't know how to do this by myself. I really need a guest host. So, but yeah, until Friday, guys, talk to you guys later and see you then.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.